Hello everyone, welcome to AptiPlus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily topic-wise news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial would be discussed in this session. Additionally, I'll be supplementing the content with some important information that can help in prelims and mains examination. So let's get started with the topic first. Today is 17th of June. The first topic is government approved restructuring of OFB, that is Ordnance Factory Board. Second, India to launch Deep Ocean Mission. Third, India extend loan facility to Sri Lanka. The second last, government panel approve additional fertilizer subsidy. And the last is editorial, that is India Cooling Action Plan and Energy Efficiency. So this is an editorial reported in the Hindu. Apart from the discussion of the news, there would be MCQs question. These questions would be based on current affairs, and this will help you in the upcoming prelims examination. So those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe AptiPlus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, do not forget to give a thumbs up. We'll start our session with the first news, that is government approved restructuring of OFB. Important for your General Studies Paper 3, Challenges to Internal Security and Communication Networks. Also, OFB is something which is relevant for your examination if you are preparing for CAPF examination, which is conducted by UPSC, right? So CAPF examination is something which is important. No, they ask mostly the questions related to paramilitary forces and other stuff. So it would be helping in your particular examination as well. So in a major reform initiative, the government has approved a long pending proposal. So this is not something new that government has taken decision. It was already there streamlined years ago. So restructuring की बात की गई है. There is, we know that the Ordnance Factory Board is not new. It was there before independence also. जब British के राज थी, when the British has their rule in India, at that point of time they have actually established the Ordnance Factory Board. अब बात की गई है इस नए डिसीजन में द एंटायर OFB जितने भी ऑर्डिनेंस फैक्ट्री बोर्ड है उनको 7 सेपरेट न्यू एंटिटीज में कन्वर्ट की जाएगी, न्यू एंटिटीज बोर्ड बनाई जाएगी दैट एम्स टू इम्प्रूव द अकाउंटेबिलिटी, efficiency and competitiveness. So if it is asked in examinations, you have to elaborate on accountability part, on efficiency part and competitiveness part. By competitiveness, you can add on Make in India initiative. Make in India initiative is something which government is looking forward to make our defense manufacturing more robust and more sustainable. Now, what is the aim of this decision? What is the main peculiar aim that government has decided to take such reform decision? So the decision is driven by the efforts to boost India defense manufacturing sectors, right? आत्मनिर्भर भारत का जो पूरा नैरेटिव है उसको यहाँ पे इम्प्लीमेंट करने की कोशिश की गई है and it is a big decision that complements India's national security requirements. We are again the importer of major security equipments that is required. So definitely these type of reform would be boosting the overall manufacturing in India as well. So it will help to achieve targets of our defense productions. Definitely it will increase the defense productions. And the defense ministry said that there would be no change in the service conditions of 70,000 employees in the organization. जो पहले ही Ordnance Factory Board में employed हैं उनके service conditions में कोई change नहीं होगी. वो employee जैसे हैं they would be working on the same conditions, right? Now, the 7 important defense public sector undertaking that would be established after scrapping of the Ordnance Board, Ordnance Factory Board, or you can say restructuring जो की जाएगी, उसमें ये new defense public sector undertaking बनाई जाएगी. There would be, the number would be 7, right? And they would be overtaking overseas of 41 ordnance factory across the country. Now, the new defense पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग जो होगी दिस वुड बी एन 100% ओन्ड बाय गवर्नमेंट. यहाँ पे कोई प्राइवेट पार्टिसिपेशन नहीं है. सो मेक श्योर अगर आपके प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन में इट इज आस्क्ड दैट वेदर देयर वुड बी प्राइवेट पार्टिसिपेशन. सो एज ऑफ नाउ देयर इज नो प्राइवेट पार्टिसिपेशन, राइट? And the transformation is likely to take place at the end of this year, right? Because of the pandemic, government has its own priority and accordingly they would schedule it. Now, in a major decision from the perspective of national security. So the streamlined, the main purpose is that we could have a strengthening national security apparatus. Now, promoting accountability, this is something which is pivotal. In defense sector, accountability is something which is required. There need to be a transparent procedures. So it would replace the OFP into 7 corporate entities, which I have told you in the beginning, to improve the accountability and efficiency. Now, the restructuring is aimed at transforming the ordnance board, जहाँ पे productivity, उसकी profitability को बढ़ाया जाए, जो product की range है, that should also be increased, because whatever we are manufacturing, we need to advance that technology as well, right? Enhancing competitiveness and improving the quality and cost efficiency. So these are some of the prime motives behind this rational decision that government has taken. Now, India to launch Deep Sea Ocean Mission. This is something which is important for your general studies paper 2. Government policies and intervention in development of various sectors. Also, it can be important for your general studies paper 3 in environment or basically the mineral exploration that is there. So, Union Cabinet has approved the pending Deep Ocean Mission. This was again which started actually in 2018. So India would be a handful countries that would be able to launch the underwater mission in such depth. और अगर मिशन की बात करें, this is costing around 4,077 crore rupees in the next 5 years. So this is a total budget, total corpus that has been allocated for this mission. And the estimated cost of the first phase of the 3-year would be 2,823 crore rupees. These numbers, this amount is not important for you. You have to just concentrate on the main point that has been discussed. Now, aim of the missions, what is the main rationale, what is the aim behind this government decision? So first is to study the biodiversity, उसके क्या खास करके और क्या impact होंगे climate change में, establish an offshore marine stations to source the thermal energy. So these are some of the main aim behind this decision. और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ अर्थ साइंसेज जो है डेडिकेटेड मिनिस्ट्री है, देयर वुड बी द नोडल मिनिस्ट्री फॉर द इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ मल्टी इंस्टीट्यूशनल मिशन. So if it being asked in examination, which is the implementing body, you have to take care of that, because at some time people tend to confuse. So it is a program which is, the nodal ministry would be Ministry of Earth Sciences. Now components of this program की अगर बात करें, एक man-made submersible होगी that would be developed to carry it out 3 people depth of 6,000 मीटर in the oceans, right? और एक integrated system plan developed की गई है. इसके कुछ 6 important components हैं. I'll be discussing all the components with you. So first is integrated mining system develop की जाएगी, जहाँ पे polymetallic nodules जो हैं that would be taken into depth for the Indian Central Oceans, right? And exploration study की जाएगी minerals पे that could have a commercial exploration as well in futures, right? जैसे कि आपने देखा होगा जो केजी गंगा बेसिन है उसमें D6 जिसको रिलायंस ने बाद में एक्सप्लोर किया था, D6 बेसिन्स जो थी. सो यहाँ पे कमर्शियल पर्पसेस को बाद में फ्यूचरिस्टिक प्लान रखा गया. देयर कैन बी अ कमर्शियल एक्सप्लोरेशंस. नाउ द अदर कंपोनेंट इन्वॉल्व ओशन क्लाइमेटिक चेंज एडवाइजरी सर्विसेज, जहाँ पे फ्यूचर प्रोजेक्शंस ये हैं कि एक इंपॉर्टेंट क्लाइमेट वेरिएबल्स होंगी, डेकेडल टाइम स्केल्स के अकॉर्डिंगली दे वुड बी अगेन प्लान्ड. Now next component की अगर बात करें, that is a deep sea floral and fauna, include microbes. जो microbes की study है उसकी sustainability, उसको किस तरह से utilize की जा सकती है, that are again a concern. And other component is to explore the identify potential sources of hydrothermal minerals, जहाँ पे जो precious metals होंगे, crust है Indian Ocean, mid oceanic region में जो ridges होती हैं. If you have read geography NCERT, you must be familiar about the oceanic mid ridges. So that is the area upon which the government would be also exploring through the deep ocean mission. Now next important components include studying preparation of the detailed engineering offshore thermal energy conversion, that is also known as OTEC, जो power designated plants होंगे उनके लिए. And the final component aimed at grooming expert in the field of ocean biology, engineering को लेकर के, और ये एम करेगी in terms of research that would be done in the industrial applications, product development, on-site business incubator facilities. So ultimately some of the targets, some of the component had been set by the government. Some are futuristic, some are contemporary, some would give a short-term impact, and other with the future impact. Right? Now this is an infograph to help you understand about the deep ocean mission. These are the polymetallic nodules that contain manganese, nickel, copper and cobalt. So deep ocean survey and exploration would be done. Technology for the sustainable utilization of marine bioresources. So what you can do, you can take the screenshot of it and you can point out some relevant information which is there in your notes. Now moving to the other news, that is India extend loan facility to Sri Lanka, right? Important for your general studies paper 2, bilateral regional grouping agreement involving India's and India's interest. So what is there in the news? Recently, India and Sri Lanka has signed an agreement of $100 million that they would be providing a loan facilities to Export and Import Bank of India to support the Iceland nation. So India has been supporting Sri Lanka every time, and this is they're planning to they expand their power coverage. This is something at a time when these type of investment is a prerequisite for Sri Lanka. A line of credit extended by India so far for the period of 20 years. Initially, it would be for 20 years with an interest rate of 1.7%. So Sri Lanka ne owes किया है around 960 million debt in the repayment. So they would be paying this much amount, right? Now Sri Lanka installed capacity की अगर बात करें, Sri Lanka has installed the capacity of 4,213 megawatt, while 1,400 megawatts of hydropower, 900 megawatt was produced from the coal. And over last 5 years, Sri Lanka ने tap किया renewable resources को particularly solar powers में. And the country electricity demand is expected to grow by an average of 5.3%. और ये जो टाइम रखी गई है दैट इज फॉर 2015 to 34 अकॉर्डिंग टू द पब्लिक यूटिलिटी कमीशंस. नाउ अगर बात करें एडवांटेज ऑफ द क्रेडिट्स की, सो द इंडियन हाई कमीशन इन श्रीलंका दे हैव सेड दैट द 100 million लाइन ऑफ क्रेडिट वुड हेल्प फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस इन श्रीलंका सोलर सेक्टर्स, जो कि रिसेंटली अनाउंस की गई थी. इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस के कंप्लाइंसेस के अकॉर्डिंगली भी ये है. और इसकी जो रूट्स दैट इंक्लूड द रूफ टॉप ऑफ द सोलर फोटोवोल्टिक सिस्टम ऑफ द हाउस होल्ड और गवर्नमेंट बिल्डिंग्स के लिए. तो ये इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस की जो कोर एसेंस है उसको भी इम्प्लीमेंट करने की कोशिश की जाएगी विथ दिस स्कीम. एंड एज मेनी एज 89 कंट्रीज इंक्लूडिंग श्रीलंका हैज साइन द फ्रेमवर्क. जो ISA की फ्रेमवर्क की बात करें, यूपीएससी ने ऑलरेडी इसमें क्वेश्चन पूछा हुआ है 2015 में. सो ISA के जो फ्रेमवर्क है उसके प्रोविजंस को इम्प्लीमेंट की जाएगी, जो कि जॉइंटली साइन की गई थी प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया और फ्रेंच के प्रेसिडेंट जो थे उस टाइम पे, उन दोनों के बीच में. पूरा एम इस स्कीम का, ISA स्कीम का है, इज टू ब्रिंग टुगेदर द कंट्रीज टू प्रमोट लार्ज स्केल डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द solar sector, or you can say the solar energy sectors, right? Cabinet panel approve additional fertilizer subsidy. This is again important for your general studies paper 3. So government is trying to benefit farmers. So they have taken some decision. The Cabinet Committee on Economy Affairs, also known as CCEA, उन्होंने कुछ प्रपोजल दी हैं जहाँ पे सब्सिडी हाइक की गई है फॉर द फास्फोरस एंड पोटाशियम बेस्ड फर्टिलाइजर अप टू 140%, right? So this is a one-time measures to provide relief to the farmers. So this is something which would be one time, and gradually if something more improves, they would be also giving the benefits. Now aim of this decision, now government ने जो efforts लिए हैं उसमें कोशिश ये की गई है कि जो key soil nutrients हैं उसके जो old rates हैं उसको competitive किया जाए, global price की जो standard है वो provide की जाए. Now decision would provide relief to farmer in the kharif sowing season that is beginning, and the prime minister has announced कि जो subsidy है that would provide 1200 per bag. This has increased to 1200 per bag, ensuring that farmer would not face any price rise, right? They have capped it. Now the cabinet also approved the phosphatic fertilizers and hiked DAP by 700 per bags. This decision was approved by the cabinet, that is applicable on the Kharif season only, right? Not on the Rabi. Now subsidy burden, definitely the all burden that is being given to the farmers is being borne by the central government. So an additional burden is around 14,775 crore rupees. This is what the central government has to incur to provide the benefits to the farmers. And this is something, a one-time measure as a relief given to the farmers in terms of the COVID-19 relief measures. So unlike urea, center has fixed a maximum retail price of non-urea prices, decontrol जो center fixing nutrient based subsidy rates हैं उनको control करेगी. And the center has also directed the fertilizer companies that they would be also having an old stock of DAP and old prices only, right? So these has not been changed. The DAP would be there on the old prices. Now India Cooling Action Plan and Energy Efficiency. So this is something which is important for your general studies paper 3, conservation, environmental and populations. So we'll see this from the exam perspective. What are the important themes of this editorial? So it talks about India's cooling action plan and energy efficiency. There are 4 important subheads which I'll be discussing with you. First is insufficient data regarding that. Second is a survey which was conducted in Delhi, some important concerns and other solution that government can have. So more frequently we have seen that the heat waves are expected, जहाँ पे global temperature rise हो रही है, and due to it has own repercussion in the climate change. और पिछले 30 सालों की बात की जाए, last 3 decades, it has been 360 waves that India has seen and causing 12,273 deaths. So these are the exact number. You have to just अगर आप एग्जाम में लिखते हैं आप approximate numbers भी quote कर सकते हैं, right? So India with currently no penetration of air conditions, बात की गई है जो AC की penetration है इंडिया में वो अभी भी कम है. It's not that as much required. Only metropolitan city have a sufficient air conditioning, right? But इंडिया की जो इंडिया कूलिंग एक्शन प्लान है उसके प्रोजेक्ट्स के मुताबिक जो कंडीशंस होनी चाहिए हैज़ टू बिकम 4 टाइम इन द नेक्स्ट 10 years. जो एयर रूम कंडीशंस है या फिर बात करें जो AC की जो अप्रोच है वो बढ़ाने की कोशिश की गई, सारे लोग एयर कंडीशंस कर सके. इसको 4 टाइम्स करने की बात की गई है आने वाले 10 सालों में and 10 times by 20 years. So this is what the target has been set by Government of India under India Cooling Action Plan, making India world most largest energy saver and cooling countries. Now some insufficient data, what we have seen that cooling की अगर बात करें, cooling can be in forefront in India's adaptations to climate change. But if cooling needs are met, यहाँ पे insufficient AC है, I have told you कि penetration अभी भी काफ़ी कम है. It could be a bane for India mitigating efforts, right? And despite its clear importance, implications की अगर बात करें residential cooling में, demand has also been careful examined, right? So we have to see demand and supply accordingly. Things can be done. अभी आपने देखा होगा rural India में जो penetration है air conditions की वो काफ़ी कम है. A survey that was conducted in Delhi, the capital of India. So recently जो environment के research letters उनमें ये पाया गया कि household की जो cooling patterns है that is increasing by the use of air condition और adaptation जो energy sufficient choices को लेकर के. Now the finding are based on door-to-door household survey जहाँ पे Delhi has average level of AC penetration. बात करें अगर wealthy neighbors की, so 43% of the household own AC. No, in people who can afford only 43%. 39% of the people can own coolers and 18% of them have fan. So this is how actually people are combating the summer. Interestingly अगर बात करें इंडिया कूलिंग एक्शन प्लान की, so residential cooling demand assume that average household of the AC to 8 hour, right? तो ये इस कूलिंग एक्शन प्लान में बताया गया कि 8 आवर तक कंजप्शन होती है. बट अलग से जो प्राइवेट सर्वे की गई उसमें देखा गया कई ऐसे लोग हैं जो 4 आवर से ज़्यादा इस चीज़ को यूटिलाइज नहीं करते हैं, राइट? सो दिस इज समथिंग विच इज़ अगेन इम्पॉर्टेंट. अपर बाउंड के हिसाब से 8 आवर के लिए भी एंटिसिपेशंस रखी गई हैं. नाउ सम कंसर्न, अनफॉर्चुनेटली अगर बात करें एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी की, इट डज नॉट फीचर्स एज प्रायोरिटी फॉर द कूलिंग अप्लायंसेस. Only 7% of the household has energy efficiency rated because जब आप AC purchase करते हो they have the star rating, right? So a star rating is taken into consideration to save the energy. हमारे जो energy की requirement है वो कम है, तो ऐसे सिर्फ 7% लोग हैं जो star rated चीज़ों को परचेज करते हैं. 88% of the cooler are locally assembled, right? And most people prefer to buy 3-star AC और 3-star AC लेने की मतलब ये it cost less, right? It has a low prices because of which people find it more affordable. But always go for at least 4-star to 5-star. These are my personal recommendations. So 20% of the AC owning household bought to the highest rated 5-star AC. Only 20% of the people, and rest 80% go either for 3-star, 2-star or whatever rating is there. अदर सॉल्यूशंस की अगर बात करें, एक इम्पेंडिंग कूलिंग डिमांड ट्रांजिशंस की ज़रूरत है बिकॉज मेजॉरिटी इन्वेस्टमेंट इन कूलिंग टेक्नोलॉजी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बिहेवियर इज येट टू बी मेड. और अवेयरनेस की अगर बात करें, अवेयरनेस कैंपेन फॉर द बेनिफिट एनर्जी अलॉन्ग द सब्सिडीज एंड फाइनेंशियल इंसेंटिव हैज़ टू बी अडॉप्टेड. Now we need to encourage a passive cooling alternative that include energy sufficient buildings जहाँ पे desired thermo comfortable या फिर reduced dependence हो energy पे, उसके intense कूलिंग टेक्नोलॉजी को अडॉप्ट करने की ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि जो नेशनल एक्शन प्लान बनाई है कूलिंग की, उसके लिए हमें पेनिट्रेशन को बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. सो दिस कैन बी सम इमीडिएट सॉल्यूशंस दैट कैन बी इनकॉर्पोरेटेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. Now moving to the MCQs question of the day. Before I proceed with the question, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. So for the first question, the correct option is C, and for the second question, the correct option is B. Now today's question of the day, Carbon Watch app was recently being launched by which among the following city? Karnataka, Chandigarh, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand. You have to answer the correct question. You have to answer the correct options in the comment section down below. आप जो इसके options हैं वो हमें comment section में लिख करके ज़रूर बताएं. Now the second question, consider the following statement about Defence Acquisition Council. It is a constitutional body. The Prime Minister of India is the chairman of this council. Many a times UPSC has asked this type of factual question, and indeed this would be important for the upcoming prelims examination. So make sure you participate and write your answer in the comment section down below. If you have any other concern, you can let us know. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Wish you all the best. Thank you so much for listening.